Hi, and welcome to this special episode of Cooking with QueerJoe. In a recent blog entry, I mentioned that I had cooked egg foo young. And while I know this isn't knitting, and I am definitely not a cook, I thought I'd go through a brief video of how I prepare egg foo young and where I got the original recipe. This video takes place in two different sections. One is I go through just a brief overview for those of you who are accomplished chefs that can, or cooks that can pretty much put together this kind of dish. And you just need kind of to know what the ingredients are and kind of the overall process. I go through a very brief summary overview of how I make the dish. And then in the last section, I go through a more extended version of that. Also down in comments below, in the description of the video, you can see timestamp links where you can go directly to those sections that you'd like to see more detailed versions of, in case that's of more interest to you. So I originally got this recipe from another YouTube video person. She goes by Souped Up Recipes, and it's a particularly good recipe for egg foo young. You might want to check that one out as well, and I'll link to that in my description below too. And the actual recipe for this is out on my blog at QueerJoe.com. So enjoy, and let me know in comments how you like it, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you have in comments as well. Thanks. So the first thing I do whenever I'm making any dish is make sure I have a preparation timeline in place to make sure that I can serve the dish when I want to and as I want to. So my preparation timeline for egg foo young is 60 minutes or an hour prior to serving. I actually start prepping the vegetables and chopping them. 45 minutes prior to, or 50 minutes later, I start pre-cooking the ground pork and the vegetables. 30 minutes prior to it, I start the rice cooking because it takes approximately 30 minutes to cook rice, fully cook rice, and 25 minutes prior to serving, I complete mixing the omelet batter that I'm going to use to create the egg foo young, and 20 minutes prior to serving, I start the sauce and start cooking the omelettes in preparation for serving the dish. So the first part of the process comes about an hour before I'm about to serve the meal, and that's chopping up the vegetables or prepping them for doing that. I need to make sure that the vegetables are chopped up finely enough so that they cook both in the pre-cooking and in the actual cooking of the omelettes. So I finely julienne the celery, carrots, and cabbage. I dice up in about a 1/4 inch dice the onions. I coarsely chop up some hot chili peppers, which are optional, and give a little heat to the dish. And then I also chop up the scallions in a slightly different way. I do the white and light green section of the onions at the bottom of the scallions so that those will go in with the cooked and the pre-cooked section of the vegetables. But then I separate out the top of the scallions, the dark green section of the scallions, and put those aside for later garnishing. The next section is pre-cooking the ground pork and some of the vegetables. So I basically pre-cook the ground pork about 45 minutes prior to serving the dish and start that process. And I cook it until the ground pork is finely minced and almost to the place where there's very little pink left in it. And then I add in the chopped up vegetables that we did in the first part. I cook those for about 3 minutes on medium-high heat and then transfer it all into a large mixing bowl. Then 30 minutes prior to serving the meal, I start cooking the white rice. Just before I'm about to cook the actual egg foo young omelettes, I prepare the final batter for the omelettes. I scramble up 7 eggs. I find 7 eggs makes about 8 egg foo young omelettes. And then I coarsely chop up the shrimp and put that into the bowl with all the pre-cooked pork and vegetables. And then I add in to that big mixing bowl the 7 scrambled eggs that I've used, that I've scrambled. And I fold all that mixture in together so that it's all evenly mixed, so that as I portion it out for individual omelets, each omelet gets some shrimp, some vegetable, some pork, and so on. And the last step in preparing the batter is I add in the soy sauce, the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and the tablespoon of oyster sauce. You'll see once I mix all those ingredients together, that it gives kind of a very slightly darker batter than just the eggs and the vegetables might, but it also gives an enormous amount of flavor to the cooked omelets, and a very Chinese restaurant flavor to them as far as I'm concerned as well. And now finally we start cooking both the sauce and the omelets. We first start with the sauce. We add the water, the soy sauce, and the oyster sauce directly into, and the sugar, directly into the sauce mixture, and we stir it around and start heating that up on a medium heat. This is one thing you need to watch relatively carefully, otherwise the cornstarch might actually start to separate if it starts to boil too vigorously. So as soon as this mixture starts to come to a simmer, even a small boil, you should turn it down to the lowest possible heat you can, and just watch over it carefully. Sometimes I even turn it off while I'm cooking the omelets, because I'm going to be heating up the omelets later to make them hot enough, and the sauces usually maintains enough heat to be able to pour it over and keep it hot as well. And finally we cook the actual omelets for the egg foo young. With our pre-cooked mixture of pork and vegetables combined with the eggs, the oyster sauce, the shrimp, and the soy sauce, we actually put about 2 tablespoons of oil into a medium-high hot pan, and add approximately a half a cup of egg foo young batter into the omelet pan. I end up making 2 omelets at a time on 2 sides of a large skillet. If you're using a wok, you could probably only do 1 at a time. But after I'm done, after I've cooked them about 2 to 3 minutes on each side and they're a nice golden or darker brown, I transfer the completed omelets over to a large serving platter. And that serving platter, when all the omelets are completed and stacked around and ready to be served, I actually microwave them for about 2 to 3 minutes to get them fully hot, and then I pour the sauce over them and garnish them with the leftover green scallion portion of the scallions that we cut up earlier on in the process. And then I serve it with the white rice. Hope you enjoy. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave those in comments. So that was a shortened version of it. Hopefully you can make your egg foo young with just that alone. If you want more detailed instructions with video associated with that, you can skip to any of the sections that you'd like to see more detailed videos of, using the timestamp links below in the description of the video. And again, if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave those in comments, and we'd be happy to get back to you when I respond to those.